I'm so tired of everyone being so damn serious around here.
What is happening?
Paul, you need to know what you're marrying into.
From being in the top 10 on Netflix since it arrived, to the show's creator giving us hints for the next season. This is what you need to know about Season 3 of Ginny and Georgia.
Won't tell anyone your secret.
My what?
First up, are we really getting a Season 3? While it isn't official, it's as close to confirmed as you can get, because it's remained in the top 10, if not the #1 spot since its release. We all know this is how Netflix determines whether or not to keep a show or not. Netflix co-CEO Ted Sarandos said it himself, "We have never canceled a successful show." In the same breath, he confirmed what we all knew, calling Ginny and Georgia a phenomenal success. In other words, if we don't get our favorite show back on Netflix, it would be a huge shocker.
Well, yeah.
And it would go against the trend Netflix has followed since they started streaming their own series on the platform.
Hi there.
Hi.
Alright, so we know it's very likely we'll get it. But when will we get it? Honestly, we have no idea. But if they announce the renewal and start producing it before April, we can expect it late next year or early 2025. Here's why. Doing the math, Season 2 finished filming a year after it was announced, and we got it 9 months after. So, if they announce it in March, we're looking at a December 2024 release, which lines up with all the hot releases we normally get in December. Goes without saying, the earlier they announce and start, the earlier we get Season 3 of Ginny and Georgia. So come on, Netflix, get to work.
Make sure you love it.
When it comes to Netflix producing Season 3, we gotta know a little more about how we got to this point. So let's learn more about the Season 2 finale, titled I'm No Cinderella. The climax of Ginny and Georgia's second season was a masterful combination of heart-wrenching moments and edge-of-your-seat suspense.
Georgia Miller, you're under arrest for the murder of Tom Fuller. You have the right to remain silent.
Wait, excuse me?
Anything you say can be used against you in a court of law.
Wait, what is happening?
Season 2's finale was a real emotional roller coaster ride that left us feeling a mix of different emotions. But fans all walked away saying the exact same thing. We want more. We can't get enough because the show's creators did a fantastic job of bringing all the different storylines together to create an end to the season that was both entertaining and easy to relate to. Who can't relate to a loving couple wanting to tie the knot? The focus of the finale was on Georgia and Paul's upcoming wedding, and their relationship remained dramatic and stressful throughout the whole show. As the season progressed, it became clear that their future together was uncertain. The reason is, Georgia was scared that Paul would leave her if he learned about her dark past, and her children's reactions to her coming clean only added to her fears.
I wanted so badly to be the person that you thought I was, but I'm not. I'm not that person, and you deserve to know who you're marrying. So, I'm the reason Gil went to jail.
She was also afraid of one of her exes, a man named Gil. Because as soon as he was let out of prison, he started to blackmail her, saying he would tell everyone all the details of her criminal past, unless she gives him the ransom from Paul's family fortune.
Georgia!
Hey, Cynthia.
I was wondering if Austin wanted...
After Georgia pretty much says hell no, the situation goes from bad to worse fast. Austin then pops off, shoots his dad Gil in the arm, and sees him being aggressive toward his mother. With that, Georgia decides it's time to skip town. But Ginny finds out about her plans for an abrupt departure and lets her know what she thinks about it. This scene's a real tearjerker because after Georgia lets Ginny know she's doing it to protect Paul, Ginny tells her it's really because Georgia's convinced she doesn't deserve happiness.
Family. It wasn't something I did lightly. I'm not proud of how I got us here, but I'm proud I got us here.
I gotta stop cutting these onions. Anyway, Georgia admits that what Ginny is telling her is true, but she doesn't want to ruin Paul's life. Very fittingly, the teen gives her mom the advice she has needed all along, and that it was just to come clean to Paul. In the conversation that Georgia had with him, she explains that her actions were to keep their family safe from Gil because of how dangerous he really was.
I'm the reason Gil went to jail. I framed him for embezzlement. To be fair, he was already embezzling, but I got him arrested. intentionally to get rid of him because he was an abusive asshole.
Wait, did he hurt you?
And still is. She tells him she had to frame him for embezzlement so he'd be out of their lives. Georgia gives Paul all the dirt about how she opened credit cards in her kids' names, which were a front for the money she stole from Gil, and she kept piling it on, adding that a detective named Gabriel was investigating her ex-husband Kenny's death. And finally, Georgia gave Paul the kicker of a lifetime. Gil wanted to take his family fortune, and she's been a criminal and a hustler her entire life.
So basically, I've been a hustler and a criminal my whole life, including Wellsbury.
This is not the kind of conversation you want to have with your fiancé. Nevertheless, he stays faithful to Georgia, tells her he can't live without her, and the marriage is on. The two tie the knot, have their first dance, and when things went south faster than birds in winter, Gabriel's intuition finally made him give in, and Georgia's arrested at the reception. Ginny was absolutely floored. She thought there were no more secrets her mom was hiding from her.
But I didn't tell anyone. What? Austin? Austin! Austin!
She gets the news from her brother, Austin, who was really shaken up, and he tells her he didn't tell anyone about Georgia murdering Tom. The finale ends with a mid-credits scene, Georgia's mugshot, with her new married name, Georgia Randolph. We were all completely floored, but it was written this way from the very start of the season. Showrunner Sarah Lampert says this was always part of the plan and was meant to be a jaw-dropping cliffhanger. With the show ending as it did, we gotta go over what happens next. Let's go with what will probably happen in season 3. Being the mindful and calculating person that she is, Georgia's already formulating a plan on how to get out of the situation she's in. In an interview, Lampert sheds light on what could possibly happen now that Georgia is in custody. Is she ready? It doesn't matter, because she's going to handle it, because that's what she does. Very true. She always finds a way to figure things out. But what about Ginny? Sarah goes on to say that Ginny has a lot of emotional baggage over what happened to her mom, so she won't jump straight into a serious relationship with Marcus just yet. If a third series gets the go-ahead, it will probably focus on Paul and Ginny trying to free Georgia from jail so they can live out their lives the way they were meant to. That is, if Paul can handle Georgia's past and everything that has happened so far. Lampert says Paul really loves her. That's really real. Has he reached a breaking point? I think that would need to be explored in season 3. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's what you need to know about season 3 of Ginny and Georgia.